As someone who's just a guy in this country working for a living, like the majority of people, like normal people in this world, we have to do something about this wealth inequality. I think it's just absolutely absurd how we're trying to cater so hard to the billionaires that already have everything they could possibly want, but we just have to let them fuck us over a little more. We have to let them get that extra yacht house, blah blah blah. I don't care. Look, all the shit that they ask for and that they need with these tax cuts is pointless. It is so stupid and it's just regressive. It's not gonna move us into the better America we need to be. Um, and it's literally the opposite of what should be happening in terms of like what's happened in our history. We're a country built on slavery and genocide, and we're in this modern so-called world where we can like look at that, we could learn that, we could see it, and then we still have fuckers out here being like, oh well, the billionaires, the company owners, the shareholders, they need more money, not the poor people. And I think it's just so ironic how Trump signs this whole executive order on like homelessness, where it's like, okay, cities, go ahead, sweep them off the streets, get them off the streets, clean up the streets, all that. That's not gonna do anything to the fact that all of us are about like a month or two away from being on those same streets. And it's even more like just disgusting when, these tariffs are about to kick in a couple days. Everything's about to get at least 20 to 30% more expensive. And it's like we're just going to put these people where? We're gonna put these people in camps, probably labor camps. And this is like part of the plan, I guess. They want you to be homeless. They want you to be homeless so then you can work for free. And I'm also tired of hearing the entitled ass like opinions from like suburban people or whatever who talk about homeless people like they're actual like human trash. If they are trash, then whose is it? It's these fucking billionaires. How are we having people who have so much money, billions of dollars, that they will never even touch? You can't even spend that much fucking money. But you have these people just running up the score, and you got millions of people just out on the street sleeping and on the side of the road or in RVs or whatever. And, how are we just going to blame the people who have to deal with this? How are we going to blame the people who have to sleep outside and not the people who are so greedy? It's like, it is the worst level of greed that I could probably even imagine. I would not have guessed it growing up how just stupid this shit is. But then, how do we have people, grown ass adults, who are just like, yeah, well, we'll just blame the branch and not the root. We're just gonna cut off the root. We're gonna cut off the branch instead of the root, and hopefully this tree will stop growing. Dude, the tree won't stop growing until we get these people out of our government and get the real working class party that we deserve. Because if you work for a living and if you have a head on your head, if you have a head on your shoulders, you work for a living, you have to provide for other people, or even just yourself, then you'll know that this is bullshit. Who the fuck is trying to work for $7.25 an hour? Everything got way more expensive during COVID, and like the best we had was like a little check. Dude, I didn't even get that check, the stimulus check, and like that fucked up the economy even more. We need like a real way for people to be able to live in this country, and like that's really just the bare minimum. If we want to be able to be the number one country, to be able to thrive, we need so much more than that. And to be able to get the bare minimum, it's a fucking fight. And I'm not complaining that it's a fight, because that's just how it is in life. The real thing that pisses me off is how people just look at the shit that's going on and just accept whatever the news will tell them, whatever Trump will tell them. I think it's just crazy how the people who will be like, liberals are a bunch of babies or whatever, you will literally embrace everything this man says like he's your fucking father. I feel like that's starting to break now with like the Epstein situation. But like I know there's gonna be a chunk of these people that'll be like, oh well, Trump said it was blah blah blah, and then Ghislaine Maxwell, and then she's free, and it's like you are somehow gonna still get sucked back into this bullshit. I need you to be so for real with your brain, with your thinking abilities, because they're fucking gone. And I could talk so much more about Epstein, Trump, and how that's like the most obvious shit anybody has ever seen. But like I don't need to. Like it's so out there. There's pictures of all of them like together. There's so many pictures of them, dude. Did y'all see that the birthday note? I've never written a note to the homie like that. I've never written a note where I'm talking about, oh, we share a very special interest. I need y'all to like just look at what the man says, because every time he opens his mouth, he's confessing to something, and stop believing what he tells you.